There's always really complicated words that mean something that's really quite simple. So we're going to look at today how to write in these two tenses. Firstly, we need to know what a tense is, don't we? So a tense basically tells us when something is happening. Okay? So when we're writing sentences, if we want to know if something happened previously, before obviously whatever was wrote. If we want to know if something's happening now, or if we want to see if something's happening in the future, we call that the tense. And there are different ones to write in to let readers know when what they're reading has happened. And the one way to change a tense in writing is always with the verbs. Now remember, verbs are doing words, so actions, okay? So like a walk, crawl, look, score, bake, those things that we can do. So when you're changing the tense, or when you're trying to find out what tense a sentence is in, we always look for the doing words. That's what will tell us. Not our nouns, not our adjectives, not any other words. Look for our doing words, look for our verbs. Now when we found our verbs, then we can work out what tense it is. And we're going to look at two today. Simple present and simple past. Now, simple past is a little bit easier to explain because simple past just means when we're talking about something that happened before, something that has happened previously, okay? That is simple past. Now, simple present is a little bit different because sometimes when you hear present tense, present means something happening now, okay? However, you can write in the present tense and you're not technically talking about something that's happening now, so you don't have to say, I am walking now or anything like that. When we talk about simple present tense, what we're actually talking about is just making statements when we say things are actually just happening, okay? Things that happen, all right? Now that might seem a little bit strange there, but if you just listen to what I want to say. So we've got an example here, we'll use the word walk, okay? Now, when the simple present tense, you can see these aren't walking, crawling, looking, anything like that. That's a different tense that we'll look at in another video. So don't worry about our ing at the minute. So if I said I'm walking now, we're talking about something that's happening now, that's not the tense that we are looking at. When we are using the simple present tense, what we are just talking about is if we say, he likes to walk. We're not saying that happens now, it's just a statement, it's just a fact, and that's more what the simple present is. Let's have a look at the one, look. He looks for his work every day, okay? It's something that happens. All right, we're not saying it's happened before, we're not saying it's going to happen, we're not technically saying it's happening right now, but we're just saying things that happen, and that is our simple present tense. So it sounds complicated, but when we look at them, you will see, okay? So when we talk about the simple present tense, we're talking about our verbs, so our doing words, and we've got them here, okay? We don't have ing on, because a lot of times when we say look for verbs, we say look for ing words. Our simple present tense, not ing, it's just when we have the words like this. So let's go down, walk, crawl, look, score, bake, fly, get, run, draw, be. Those are all doing words, and those are in our simple present tense. So it's not walking, crawling, looking, scoring, not those type of things. It's just the simple verb on its own. It's things that you can do. You can score, you can bake, you can look, you can crawl, you can walk. Okay, easiest way to say it. Okay, if you want to know, is this verb in present tense, simple present tense, okay, to help you not get mixed up with your verbs that you're saying things that are doing now, say the sentence, I can walk, okay? I can crawl, I can look, I can score, I can bake, I can fly. I can't, but my sentence makes sense, doesn't it? I can get things, I can run, I can draw, I can be. If I said I can walking, it doesn't make sense, doesn't it? Because walking is not simple present. I can crawling. So if you want to say something that's in simple tense, say I can, and then say that word. If it works, okay, then you've got the right one. Now, simple past tense is what it says on the tin though. It's telling us something that has happened in the past, something that has happened previously, okay? And we're going to look at how to turn things into the simple past tense. Now, the way to put things in the simple past tense is to add what we call our suffix. So a suffix are letters that we add to the end of words to change their meaning. And in this way, we're going to add the suffix ed in order to change the tense to make them into past tense. So my walk would become walked, my crawl would become crawled, and my look would become looked. Okay? So if I said I like to look, okay, if I said I like to look, it doesn't make sense, does it? I would be talking about something that happened, so I could say he looked yesterday. He crawled yesterday. He walked yesterday. There's another quick example. Find your verbs. Can you say he walked yesterday? Does that make sense? Yes. I can't say he walking yesterday. I can't say he walked yesterday. They don't make sense. So what are the key things with these is, and I'll come to this again because it'll help with something else as well, is to read as much as you can and to listen to people talk. Because you know if someone came up to you and said, I crawled yesterday, you'd say, oh, wait a minute, that doesn't sound right, that doesn't make sense. So like always, reading loads and talking to people, all of those things are going to help you with this. But again, we don't change the word, okay? We've got walk, we've got exactly the same there, and we just add our ed, makes it simple past. Now, I've got these two in a separate section, score and big, because we are adding ed on the end, but if you look, these words already end in e, okay? So when we add ed, we're actually dropping that e and then putting the ed on. So we technically, when you look at it, it looks like we've just added a d, isn't it? But what we've actually done is drop that e and put our ed on the end. Okay, and that's a spelling rule that you look at here. So I've got two examples here. It's not scored with two e's. It's not baked with two e's as well. Okay, so we don't have this at the end. Just remember that. So it's still the same rule. We're adding ed, but you have to be careful to make sure you don't spell the word wrong. Okay. Now we get on to the part that always gets us in English, our exceptions, okay? And sometimes we have what we call irregular verbs. Now the word regular, okay, means things that happen all the time, the most common, what you most like to see. So these are our regular ones, our common verbs, okay? Because we just follow our rule, add ed on, and we can find out what they are. Now these are irregular because these are ones that don't follow the rule, okay? Now, I'm going to go back to the old friend I saw about 2 seconds ago, reading. One of the best ways in order to learn these irregular verbs is to be reading, because there are no rule with irregular verbs, and that's what makes it hard. We have rules, so it's easy, we can do those. We can do all these. When you haven't got a rule, you just have to learn them, and the only way to do that is to be reading, be talking to people, and those type of things. Let's have a look. So we had fly, get, run, draw, be. If I say those words with ed on the end, you'll know that you don't recognise them from our English language. Flied, getted, runned, drawed, bead. Okay? Those words don't make sense. And if you know it doesn't make sense, then the simple past must be slightly different. And again, there's no rules. These don't all change the same way. They change in different ways. So you can have a look online and look for lists of irregular verbs, but there are so many. We just have to learn to read and to learn from talking to other people, our parents, our friends, things like that, which words are. And I'll show you examples. So fly becomes flew, didn't it? I flew yesterday. Get becomes got, okay? So instead of I get presents for Christmas, I got presents for Christmas. I got them last Christmas. Run becomes ran. So instead of I run every morning, it would be I ran every morning. So something you previously did. Draw doesn't become drawed. So I would say I like to draw pictures. I would say I drew pictures. So see that you did it in the past. Okay, and be. Okay, now this is a really strange one because the word completely changes to was. These ones are still a little bit similar, okay, you could see them, but this one completely changes. So this be, okay, is also a verb that people forget. Okay, so if you be, you're doing something, you're being something, aren't you, okay? He likes to be right, it's what he's doing, he's being right, okay? But when we change it to the past, we don't say beed, okay, again, sounds funny, we say was, okay? So he was right, something I did. Okay, so those are how we change our words from simple present, simple past, and what simple past and present are. Again, same as always, hope you've enjoyed this video and hope it's helped you with your simple past and simple present tense. Till next time, see you later. Hope you enjoyed that video, guys. As the saying goes, I think you've got to smash that like button if that helped you, and I hope it did. If there's any questions or anything else, that I can help you with, you can put it in the comments below. I try and help out, or you can contact me on MrBiggins123 on Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter, and I'll try and help you if I can. Okay. Obviously, subscribe as well. You'll see all the videos as they come up, and they might help you with other things that you are doing with your work as well. Until next time, see you later and stay safe.